Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Seeking Sister Wife Season 6. My God, they found 6 years to do this show. Episode 1, you're no longer in Brazil, Dorothy. And can I just say that when the episode started, I was like, how in God's name are you going to keep finding people like this? Like, there can't be this many unaware, crazy people out there. But yet they find like gold. I mean, I think there's some real gold in here.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I also wonder, okay, are these people who are doing this just to get on the show? But the people this season, at least who we've met so far, seem to have kind of a history of this, or at least thinking about, I don't know.
Yeah, there's been some past experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the producers are maybe trolling some kind of like poly app.
Yeah, people who are on poly, exactly. Because I think that, because if you're willing to be poly, then Sister Wives is even less out there in the sense that it seems to have a little more
structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not always clear.
It's not always clear. It's really, I'm perplexed. I'm just, just old. Like I don't really understand a lot of this.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of it is abusive too. That like the stuff with Garrick and Danielle.
Oh God, we'll get into
that.
Well, and the other thing too is I feel like the motivations. I'm like, you just want a friend for while your husband travels. Like,
you want a babysitter. You want a surrogate.
Yeah,
literally.
And that's everyone has there's some sort of agenda. Yeah. Exactly. And there is a little bit of this, I guess let's just jump right in.
Let's just start.
Okay. So let's start. We're going to start with the Williamson family. And this is Reese and Billie Jean from New Ross, Indiana. So I don't know how big New Ross is.
Well, I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Now, again, this is one of these places where, I don't know, see, in California, we have like cities. So so it's hard to, I feel like in a lot of other states, there'll be like this one area that's sort of like the hub, but then it encompasses all these other areas. I don't really understand. I don't understand this because the population is 312. Okay.
It could be.
How do you exist with 312 people? They have one post office. They have one bank. They have a steakhouse and a grain facility.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think most of the people work at the grain facility.
but what's the closest big city?
Well, I think it's a couple hours outside of Indianapolis.
Okay. So there has to be some other larger town nearby. There's got to be within 20 to 30 minutes. But listen, this is how a lot of people, it's not how a lot of people live. I mean, people are out, in these really small towns. Like that town from Unknown Number, same thing. It was this tiny town, and it's a little bit like
400 people.
Yeah, I mean, when their kids are ready for high school, I'm sure they have to drive the kid like 30 miles away.
Because the population of the high school was 700. Mm-hmm. So clearly, people are driving. Can you imagine having to drive like an hour each way to a public high school? I mean, I think
maybe there's a bus.
This is why a lot of people end up homeschooling their kids. It's like, I'm going to be doing this every day.
Yeah.
So, it's a very small town.
But, Reese really bursts onto the scene.
Yes. All of a sudden, we're treated to the Pirates of Penzance.
Yes. And I would just like to say, I wouldn't know any of those words, but Reese sure does.
Oh,
Reese. The first thing I wrote down is, this guy likes to be center stage. It's the first thing I thought. And then I was like, oh, of course you were in plays and show choir.
That's very specific. Yes.
All that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't mind a camera crew in the shower with you.
No, he's fine with it. Reese honestly is in his element. He's doing bits at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh God, they were doing bits with the chickens. That was driving me crazy. He is, I could see Reese, because I don't think Reese really wants. I mean, I don't know how much Reese wants Billie Jean. I don't know what's going on here with Reese.
I don't know. Well, it's like they've known each other. They met in middle school.
Yeah,
and they were in show choir together. But then they reconnected later. And then they got married.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know what to say. I mean, the school play, right? He was like the star, and she was backstage. I mean, that tells you a lot about their personalities.
The person who helps you change your costume in between scenes and that kind of thing.
But that whole thing with them and the chickens in the kitchen, and then
that was gross.
And it was fun. I wrote down fun with chickens. I mean, and then this whole thing of like, oh no, the chickens are loose. The chickens are loose. I'm like, and then we have to go get them and put them back in. And I love the chickens. I hate the chickens. And I'm like, you know what? Lots of people have chickens. You're still basic. I mean, you're not special. What? Just the way they were acting about these chickens. And I guess, I mean, maybe it was the first day, but Reese was comfortable enough to sing and to have a camera crew in his bathroom, in his shower. Mm-hmm. You would think he'd be a little bit looser.
Well, and he was making jokes about the chickens and the eggs and comparing it to their infertility struggles. And I mean, I think we're just scratching the surface with him. I think he's going to escalate as the season goes on. I mean, if this is him in episode 1, what is it going to be like? But now, so they have two, they don't say that if they're twins. I assume they're twins. But I think they have two little babies.
Yeah, I have to believe they're twins, because, I mean, obviously, this is one of the reasons why they're right. Their big motivation is they want to have a big family. And Billie Jean can't use her own eggs. So a friend donated an egg, and then she carried the babies. Billie Jean did. So, and I can understand that. IVF is expensive, and I'm sure it was a lot of money to do all of this. And I mean, the friend donating the egg, I'm sure they got that for free, So I get that, but there's this other part of me that's a little bit like, I understand you want a big family and you want these things, but there are other ways to be. like people get so fixated on what they think their life should be or how they think their life should be. And versus, yeah, you need to have a forward momentum and a goal, but sometimes you just need to let life unfold.
Right.
And maybe you just should have only 2 kids. I don't know.
And then this starts to feel transactional because based upon what she's saying, it's like basically they're looking for a free egg donor.
Yeah.
And a childcare provider.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And maybe a friend.
Hopefully a friend. But they don't want to live with them. They want this person to live, because they have this property where I think they have multiple homes or structure, or they want to build on. They want to build. They want to have a compound. So
Coyote Pass. Yeah.
Yes. Billie Jean does not want to live with the egg donor. She still wants to have her own little life over here with Reese. But again, okay, that's not really true polygamy, is it? Like, aren't you all supposed to live together? But as we've learned, a lot of these people don't.
Well, I don't know if you necessarily need to live together, but there needs to be some sort of like, we're all right. From what we've learned with sister wives, when someone comes into your family, it's really about like, how is this person going to integrate? How are they going to be versus this, how will this person fit into the family structure and how do we work together? This really does feel like we want more kids and we want a babysitter.
We need something, right? It's like, it's not the individual, like falling in love with the individual. And then they come in and you share your life and what happens, happens. It's very much like, we're looking for an egg donor and a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like, especially when they want the person to live in a different house.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the houses yet. I think this person is going to be living with them.
Yeah,
so.
They haven't built anything yet. That's just their plan.
But then we learn that, Reese is not hypersexual. He's a bit vanilla.
Oh,
so the sense
shocking.
I get is, I don't think Reese I just don't think Reese has a big sex drive.
Or, now, he claims he's not gay. He claims that I think that was one of the first things that Billie Jean's dad said was like,
I assumed he was gay. I mean, I thought that all the viewers were all going to assume that. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. But when they ask him, okay, well, what kind of women do you like? He's like,
oh God.
Oh, I like all kinds of women, anything, and he starts naming women who are all Black women.
Yeah. It's Halle Berry, Oprah,
Michelle Obama, like Vivica A. Fox. I mean, he doesn't, he can't even be creative. It's like, Oprah? Like, Oprah's like 70 years old. I love Oprah. Okay. I mean, come on, Reese. It's like,
you don't think Reese is pining for an Oprah?
That's the best you can come up with, Oprah and Michelle Obama. And
well, Halle Berry's hot. I mean, she's beautiful.
Is. Okay, of course. I mean, all these women are but it was just like,
hilarious.
We're going to take the most famous, the most kind of, off the tip of your, no originality. Yeah. Okay. No originality.
Well, and he also, I think almost kind of his mind maybe got trapped a little bit because I think he started with Halle Berry and then he's like Oprah and then Michelle Obama. And then as you kept going, I was like, oh, he keeps naming Black women like Vivica A. Fox. I'm like, oh, these are all Black women. Like, it's almost like he got stuck in this, like, associating like Oprah, Michelle Obama, like how you go, Michelle Obama makes me think of this. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how much I buy that, but okay.
Yeah. But then what do you think, I guess, so this is the other part of it too, is does Billie Jean just want, I guess she doesn't, she seems to be okay with her sex life with, Reese. Mm-hmm. So do you think that for her, it's just like, I just want to have babies. I just want babies. I just want lots and lots of babies. And I don't care, this guy's, I like him. He's supportive. I just need someone who can have babies.
He's comfortable. He's safe. He's supportive. I think Billie Jean wants to be like Earth Mama on a bunch of kids, but of course I'm going to need childcare. I'm going to need help with these kids. Can't do this all myself. And I want to live off the land, and I want to have chickens and grow a vegetable garden and have a compound.
Yeah. Yeah. She wants ballerina farms. I think she wants to be one of those like trad wife. Oh my God. Do you think she wants to be a trad wife influencer? And she thinks like this is her jumping off point?
Oh, well, I wouldn't put it past anybody.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But so Reese and Billie Jean are meeting up with Kayla, one of Reese's closest friends, like a sister. And they were also in show choir.
From show choir, yes.
So what is show choir? Does that mean like you're in a choir and you just sing musicals?
Well, you're putting on musicals. And so, there's always like, at least when I was in high school, I never tried out for any of this, but this is what I observed was that they'd put on a musical and, if you tried out, you'd pretty much get into the choir, the chorus, whatever they called it, who sang like the backup for all the tunes. And then you had your stars who played the leading characters. And so everyone got to sing the show tunes, but then you had the stars. So I don't know. That's how it was in my high school. It was not a big thing in rural Northern California.
We didn't have show choir in Berkeley. I was in all the plays. I mean, but you had to audition,
Yeah.
So, anywho.
I think it's musicals. It's Pirates of Penzance, it's whatever.
Yeah. So Reese is wearing his slippers. And then we go into this whole thing about how people always assume he's gay. And, Billie Jean's father first thought he was gay. And, it's very, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this because it's not it's certainly not our place to out Reese. If he says he is straight, okay, that's what you got to believe. But, and he made this comment of, hey, I know myself, if I was gay, I would know, I wouldn't hide it, but I just like boobies too much. First off, the word boobies.
What straight
that is not
guy says that?
No. And they don't even say that's not that at all.
They say tits.
Yeah. But the other part too is I had this friend in LA who, again, everyone thought he was gay. I heard about him dating women. We'd all be like, no, he's straight. He's straight. He's now in Miami and he's gay. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if necessarily, I don't know how old Reese is, but not everyone comes out early. It is very, very possible. So this whole argument of, well, I would have known by now, or I would have announced it by now. It's like, maybe not. No. And maybe the idea of, I don't know what town this is. I don't know if it's like, it's not maybe parents, not acceptable. I don't know what the situation is, but if he's been indoctrinated with a lot of fear around it, then I think I would think it's pretty easy to convince yourself, like, I like sex enough with this woman and we can build a life together.
Right. I mean, look, if you're from this town, population 312 in, agricultural Indiana, like that, your whole entire life, this has been suppressed for you. And might not even be safe to come out. Like, I mean, the jury's still out. Like,
yes.
The jury's still out on a lot of us, not me, but, like,
well, you don't know, Brooke, but hold on. It could be
I could be a late in life lesbian.
You could meet a woman that you really like.
That's true.
It could happen. Listen, it's like, hey, man, as the Gen Zs have taught us, sexuality is fluid. We don't need to have all these labels.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, well, I'm sure we'll, it's difficult to talk about Reese.
I'm sorry. He's just, all of it, like his reactions to things, all of it. And at one point, both Kayla and Billie Jean say, yeah, you're pretty flamboyant. And he was bothered. I thought that was interesting because he liked being the showman, being called, crazy or this or that or dramatic, but flamboyant bugged him.
Yeah.
So, well, do you want to talk a little bit about him hitting on this waitress?
Yeah. Again, here he is. He's trying to prove his manhood. Mm-hmm. He's trying to prove that he's attracted to women, and, he's flirting with this pretty waitress. And then he, again, this is not I think, whatever. He touches her.
Yes, I noticed. Yes. That was weird. He
touches her. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
And again, I think that he read in some magazine, because it's very, very, right? Like when you're out at a bar and you're talking to someone, right? Like if a woman touches you, you find a reason to touch. But like you've been talking for a while, there's some chemistry there. There's like a connection. Then you might touch the person's arm or something. But this was really like he just... kind of like grabbed her shoulder.
It's not a bar. It's not like some woman approached you at a bar and started talking to you. You were there with your wife and your friend to have dinner, and he's trying to make, ordering dinner some sort of a sexual experience. Like he is trying to prove his sexuality, his masculine sexuality.
Mm-hmm. But
it's weird.
Even the phrases he uses, he's not like, okay, I'm gonna practice, my dating skills. It was more of like, I'm gonna make the waitress blush. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, what are you gonna say that's gonna? It was just the words that he uses are odd. It feels very tame, very, I'm gonna make her blush.
Because this isn't his thing. This is not what he does. Mm-hmm. He's not like a guy who never in his life has he gone to a bar to pick up a woman. Mm-hmm. Ever in his life. Okay. I guarantee you that he's never dated women. I'm pretty sure that like he and, Billie Jean, hooked up at some point after high school or whatever. In between that time, I don't think he dated women.
Yeah, I think Kayla said this. She said he was a late bloomer and that it took Reese a while to find Billie Jean. And so that's when I was like, oh, I wonder if maybe he didn't really date at all. And he was comfortable with Billie Jean. They knew each other. They'd hooked up before and, okay, great.
Yeah. So
that's them.
That's them. We'll see. What happens. My God.
We'll see how Reese is dating, how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
All right. Whew.
Who's next?
Let's do the Peralta family. And they're in Bristol, Connecticut. I wish I knew their ages. I need to understand their ages and where they are in their life. But this is Danny and Yesel. Mm-hmm. And Danny, I believe, based on what we've learned, I want to say she's 28, 27, 28. I think she's under 30.
Yeah.
She's very young.
I think she is very young.
So
he's a bit older because when he met her, he had two kids from two prior relationships. We meet one of the mothers of one of his kids, but he's definitely. I'd say he's got a good 10 years on her, 8 to 10 years.
And I found Yesel to be, I don't know,
gross.
I don't trust Yesel as far as I can throw.
No.
I don't like how he talks about things. I think he's shady. I think
he's violent.
Oh, you think he's violent? See, I was writing a bunch of notes. I wasn't really watching the self-defense. Did something happen in that? They take us. So we see them. They go to a self-defense class, the two of them. And
I find him very menacing. I mean, I don't know. We've only seen one episode here, but the way that they met at a wedding, and it was they had this immediate sexual connection, and he ended up biting her.
Yeah.
And then they went home together. And then just the way that they sort of aggressively work out and they do their self-defense, he kind of scares me. Like, and he's got this, he's very vague about what he does. Like,
yes,
he's gone for months at a time.
What do you?
Danny needs a friend because she's home alone, and she needs help parenting because he's gone for months at a time. Well, where are you going for months at a time? What are you doing?
Yeah, what job? I mean, I don't know a job where either you're going to travel a lot internationally, so maybe once a month you're gone for 5-6 days, or every other month you're gone,
or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. You work on a ship.
But what does one do? I would love to know what he does. What does one do where you have to travel internationally from 1, maybe 2, 3 months? So that's big range. 1 month is very different than 3 months. And but the other thing I want to go back to, you got to love Danny, where she only went to this wedding because of the s'mores bar. I mean, and I think that's the other thing too. I think that shows you how young she is. She's 22. Yeah. She's 22. She is like, oh, I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to mess up some s'mores. you know, and that's the headspace she's in when she goes. And then they show us all these pictures of them together. It's a lot of Yesel licking her.
Yes.
Like his tongue out, licking her. It doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not comfortable. And I feel like I can just see it in his face and his eyes. When he gets mad, he gets mad. And I think he gets violent. I don't know. There's something about him that makes me really uncomfortable. Like, I look at him and I'm just like, oh God. Yeah. The other thing is these kids. I mean, again, usually when you hear about a couple getting together and they have kids from another relationship, usually those kids are like, 10, 12, they're a bit older. These kids, is it Jelena and Brady? Did I get that right?
No,
or Bradley?
I didn't write down their name.
They seemed very young too. So that's the other thing.
So they have two kids. You're talking about their two kids together?
No, their two kids together are very young. But the two children that he has from other relationships, they seem very young. And that's the thing. When we meet his ex later on, we learn like it really was. He breaks up with her, and I don't know how long he's single until he's in this new relationship. So to me, it just means like, it's one, we see this a lot where someone has a kid very, very young, and then they, start having kids again because they meet someone. But this is a little bit of, whoa, you have two children from two different women. You just are ending this relationship, and your first thing is, well, let me get into this relationship with the 22-year-old. It's just a little bit, it tells you something about him, I think, personally.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, Danny works full time. So when he's gone on his international trips, she's working full time, taking care of, she might just sometimes be taking care of the youngest two. But I don't know what the custody situation is. Or do the older kids come? And is she required, does she take care of them? Even though he's out of the country? I don't know.
I don't know. Because you think you'd want to have the siblings be able to see each other. And,
yeah.
But I don't know.
4 kids? I mean, 4 kids in a full-time job? Yeah. Danny needs help. She didn't need a sister wife.
Yeah. Why can't they hire a nanny? Like, why
because Yesel wants to have sex with other women.
Yeah.
Yesel,
and he doesn't want to pay for a nanny.
Yeah. Yesel sees this as a win-win. Listen, he put together a PowerPoint presentation to get her to do it.
Yeah.
How all the things that they need, all the pros and cons of becoming polygamous. And I think, again, that's why I think her age is important to recognize. Like, she met him at 22. That's still very young. He obviously has a lot of influence on her. They've been married almost 5 years. So maybe they've been together 6, 7. I don't know. There's a big power imbalance between the two of them, and it feels a little bit like she's being bullied into it. Psych Legal Pop will be back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah. And she clearly doesn't want this polygamy thing, but she does get lonely when he's gone and she does need help when he's gone. So again, we talked about this, I think, on a previous episode just recently within the past week. I can't remember what it was, but that whole kind of like polyamory by force, where you're kind of forced into the situation because one person wants it and you don't really want it, but you kind of, if you want to stay in that relationship then you have to do it and pretend that it's okay. And that's what I feel like she's doing here.
Yeah. Well, we learned very quickly at the self-defense place, that Yesel he's just been looking in the apps, kind of like, looking around, and Danny is shocked. And
I'm happy.
Yeah. She and this is what I wonder. I wonder if she has caught him on the apps, maybe quote unquote looking around. People find partners on the apps all the time, or some friend saw him on an app and said, "Hey, I wonder if Yesel, this is a common thing for him to be on these apps and looking."
I think so, because didn't he date some? Yeah. Didn't he date someone like without telling her, just to kind of feel it out, like some girl from high school? He wanted her to test her out, see if maybe she could come in. It didn't go well, but he did that behind her back, right?
Well, I think it all happened. She kept saying, "I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be left behind." I think what happened, my guess would be, is I think that he proposed this idea. Then maybe the next day he's like, "Hey, what about my friend from high school?" And then it's like, "Oh, hey, she's going to come on over. I'm going to hang out with her a little bit." I mean, I'm wondering if the two of them were like already talking on Facebook, back and forth and reunited. And this was his way in. But obviously she, Danny did not feel comfortable with this. And she felt like the third wheel, and that. Yeah. And
these people already they already have a pre-existing relationship. So it's not like you're meeting the person together and starting from the same place.
Yeah. And
I'm kind of perplexed by Leah, who's the mother of Yesel's son, because she and Danny are like BFFs and they kind of seem like the same person, and so it's like, okay, Leah's concerned about a third wife. Danny's concerned about a third wife. Tells her she doesn't want to do this. So this is wild. It just feels like they're forcing her or something.
I think Leah has Yesel's number. Leah's been through this with Yesel. The looking on apps, he might have even floated this idea to her at some point. Totally. So Leah knows, but at the same time, she's like, well, there's a TV camera here and this is my friend. And, or maybe she's tried to broach the subject in the past and Danny shut her off. And so she just feels like, well, I'm just going to be a supportive friend. and I can relate to her because Leah, it really felt like Leah was asking all the right questions. Like Leah kind of knew where the downfalls were. And they talk about this too, since that time with the high school friend, Danny said, I don't want to keep testing this relationship. We're in a rebuilding phase. So they're not even in a good place from that whole situation. But the one thing that Danny said that I thought was interesting, she's like, I want to be present if he's going to be window shopping. It's like, so.
Yes, interesting term.
Yeah. So we learned that Danny wants to meet the woman first before Yesel, which I think is a good idea. But again, I think you need to listen to Leah more because I think Leah does not think this is going to work.
No, nobody thinks this is going to work. No one in America thinks this is going to work.
All right. Well, the jury's out on Yesel. I did not get that, but I really kind of felt like this guy likes to cheat and he likes to find loopholes to cheat.
Yeah. Well, he scares me. I don't know. It doesn't seem very endearing. Well, yeah. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And what's this international work that you're doing?
Yes.
That I want to know too. And how
he works internationally. What the fuck does that mean? Okay. All right. So
this is what everyone's been waiting for.
It's very exciting. The Merrifields.
Oh, Lord.
Our Seeking Sister Wives' favorite couple. Although I prefer the Davises. They're not so, I don't know what the word is. Cringy or something.
Garrick has some... We'll get there. Garrick has a lot of ideas and theories about things. And I just, that's why they're gold. Because just when you're like, oh, okay, it feels like, oh, and then Garrick says something and you're like right back, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of recap their history. In the last 6 years, they've had 2 prospective wives leave them. So Roberta was the first one. That lasted 3.5 years, and they spent tens of thousands of dollars on her.
Oh yeah, I mean this really feels kind of like the long con. I wonder how much, because she broke up with them the minute they transferred her a big sum of money. So I'm like, how much money did you guys all send her that made her like? This is what she'd been working towards for 3.5 years.
Oh, I'm going to guess between giving the money they gave to her directly, I would say is at least 25 or 30,000.
Does that include the big money at the end? Like the money that they sent her to kind of help clean up things so she can come to the US?
Her mother. Okay, so let's bump it up to 50. So over 3.5 years, they were giving her money, paying for stuff, and then she claims, my understanding is they got the K-1 visa for her, and they kept saying, when are you coming? When are you coming? And she's like, well, I have to square away some stuff with my mom and make sure she's okay. And so they were giving her this money, to get her mom set up. And that's when she got that payment, she dumped them. So probably $50,000 for that, and then at least. And then when you think about all the vacations they went on to meet her in Mexico so they could see her, the cost of getting the K-1 visa, all of that, all told, they spent at least $100,000.
Oh, I can believe it.
Yeah, at least.
And I had never, because I wasn't watching the show then, I had never seen that video of Danielle's reaction to learning that Roberta wasn't going to come. I mean, that was
where she had a
pain
meltdown.
I mean, that was wow.
But was that real? Do you really think that was real? I
don't know.
It seems like
do you feel like
fakery?
Well, do you think she was doing it to be performative?
Yes.
Or what I wonder is, I think that the only way Danielle's been able to even endure any of this is she's had to almost like drink the Kool-Aid with Garrick and believing. And I think that even though she wasn't really in love with Roberta, I think she felt like she was in love with her. And I think it's the symbol of, oh, this is my, I don't know.
Well, again, it's the best friend thing. And this is part of Garrick's con, is that in order to get Danielle to go along with this, he has to sell her that she's getting something out of it. She's getting a best friend and a sister. And you know how they always call each other sister? At least she and Roberta did.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
She did with Natalia.
So it's like, this is my sister. And so Danielle has to feel important and almost like this is for her, and what Garrick's doing is just like on the side. It's just
that's a good way.
Like she's the main focus, and you can tell, like, even when every time they would go to visit one of these women, like when they saw each other, it was always like Danielle and Roberta hugging and embracing first, and Danielle and Natalia, like she had to be the center of this. That was the only way it was palatable to her. So much manipulation by Garrick to get her to go. And, I'm starting to really feel sorry for Danielle, because if you notice Danielle's facial expressions, like, she comes on and she's smiling and talking about, whoever it is, the woman of the moment, whoever their prospective sister wife is, and she's talking in these glowing terms and this is wonderful. And then Garrick starts talking, and then she kind of looks at him, and then her face literally changes. Like the expression on her face completely changes, and she looks like uncomfortable, sometimes looks kind of mortified. She can only act so much and to a certain point, and then her face just gives it away.
Well, did you notice they show us a wedding picture of her and Garrick from a long time ago? Garrick, I could pick out of a crowd easily. Her, I was like, if you told me this was the same person, I wouldn't believe you. I mean, she looks so different. So there's this other part of it too, of like, what's going on for you? You know what I mean? Like, what is happening here?
It's years and years of living with Garrick and his bullshit.
Yeah. And so it's like, God, has that aged you oddly? Has that created something for you? It's like, I don't know. She just doesn't, that young person doesn't look like who she is anymore. She's still young, she's obviously attractive. It's not that. Right. It's just more of, there's a disconnect.
Looks stressed. Yes. She looks stressed, uncomfortable, unhappy. And then this is a total act she's putting on for Garrick, who she just idolizes for some reason and will do anything more. And
they're very religious, right? So I think he spouts these Bible things. They talk about this, like polygamy is in the Bible. And it's like, we got to justify.
Oh, yeah. She believes, we'll get to this, but she believes every cockamamie idea that he has. Okay, so after Roberta, they kind of floundered for a little bit. There were a few in between people, but then the next big one was Natalia, who was just last season. And Natalia was more, I don't think she was necessarily conning them for money, although I'm sure they gave her a lot of money. But she quickly found out she didn't really trust them from the beginning. And then some things happened where she was like, oh, no. Because she thought that, well, she and Garrick had that wedding in Brazil that wasn't legal. Because remember, the government of Brazil would not approve it. Because
that's right. They
were like, no, this guy is a scammer. They've seen the show. Someone sent them a copy.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they did a fake marriage in Brazil, and then she was supposed to come over on a spousal visa, which is different than the K-1 visa. And she found out that because Garrick had lied to her and said, oh, no, you're going to be the last sister wife, just going to be Danielle and you. And then she found out that wasn't true, that he was on the apps. He was still looking for other people, and she was not going to be the last one. And so she dumped them.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of focus on this person. Like, why do you need to be on the apps? You need to be looking. That's where it feels like this isn't about creating connections. This is about volume.
Yeah. It's a numbers game. Like the more people mean, how many wives does he want? I don't understand. But, this is his last chance because of something called the International Marriage Brokers. So International Marriage Brokers something, I can't read my own writing, something act. And this was enacted to try to crack down on sex trafficking and people bringing people from other countries.
Yeah.
There is now a limit on how many K-1 visas you can get as an American citizen. So an American citizen can only get 2 visas for different people. They have to be 2 visas, 2 different people.
Mm-hmm.
In there, this is a lifetime maximum. And if you apply for more than that, you have to apply for a waiver, which is extremely hard to get. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Garrick's second.
Was Roberta the first?
Roberta was first. They got, and it doesn't matter if the marriage happens or not. It's just
they started the 90-day countdown, and that's why they were trying to wait for Roberta to come out.
Well, no, he got the visa. So remember, the 90 days starts once you get to the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And so she never made it to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the visa. I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he had the visa for her because remember they were pressuring her to just get on a plane. Come on, you got your visa, you can come. She had no intentions of going. She's like putting them off. But so there's one.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has applied for another one for this new woman. I've already forgotten her name. Lorena. So now Lorena is here in the U.S. on a K-1 visa. So if this doesn't work out, he's not getting any more K-1 visas.
Yeah. Well, and there's also, we talked about this when we covered the show last season. There's also a little bit of like, why do you need to keep going outside of the country? And also, why do you need to go to Brazil? I mean, it feels very specific. It feels very like, this is what I want.
It's a fetish.
Yeah. And it's the other thing too is, well, Lorena, they're all nervous because they're driving to the airport to pick her up and they're both, their bodies are on fire. They're just, so nervous and excited for Lorena to come. And she gets off the plane and she's very beautiful. She's really young.
These women always are,
Yeah. They've all, they've all, I don't know Roberta well, but Natalia was beautiful. She's very beautiful. And she and Danielle hug. They have this very long hug.
And she goes straight to Danielle. You notice that?
Yeah.
She bypasses Garrick. She goes straight she knows where her bread is buttered.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and I got the sense, it was funny because I got the sense that she likes Garrick. Like she's not like, ooh, gross. But then, he talks about how we've had a lot of deep, heartfelt, serious conversations, and we've really pondered a lot of, serious questions and things. I'm like, how do you do that with someone who doesn't speak the same language?
Yeah. Over the translator app.
So how do you connect and bond to a translator app?
You don't.
And I know even if you're there in person, people are always talking about but it's different when the words come out of that person's mouth. It's like,
well, yeah, because it's just like texting. Things get lost in texts. There's inflections and also in 6 years of dating exclusively Brazilian women, Garrick has not bothered to learn Portuguese.
Yeah, not a lick.
So he can talk to. He doesn't want to talk to these women. That is not what he is interested in. He wants to have sex with these women and have like a little harem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that he wants to have sex with a lot of women, and he also wants to be a family. And I think that he also, he wants to be a good servant of God. And, that doesn't, I guess, for him, just dating people and going and living your life and just having lots of relationships, that doesn't work. It's just interesting. A lot of so much of this stuff gets wrapped up in this like larger piece of how you believe you should be living or whatever judgment you think from the world, of being single or, what was that first couple being gay, you know, any of those things, that you then go to this extreme place of like bringing someone from another country into your, like, right. And children are born. And I mean,
this is,
it's just, but
God, just like God speaks to Garrick in the garage, God spoke to Lorena and told her that she would fall in love with someone from another country.
Yeah, she would not fall in love with a Brazilian man.
Yes.
So, but hands down, this is the best thing that Garrick said and the best part of the entire show. So Garrick then starts to explain to us about biology or physiology, or
He's so knowledgeable about that,
and especially about how women work. So he said that after women have had 5 partners, they can't bond anymore. So after you've had 5 male partners, and I don't know if that means relationships or just partners, period.
Sexual partners.
Okay.
Because it's the sperm.
Yeah. So I guess it's the amount of sperm that's been inside of you slowly makes it harder and harder for you to bond with a partner. And as insane and funny as this is the most insulting comment you can ever, it was just disgusting, because what you're really saying is a woman who has too many sexual partners is broken. If you've had even 5 relationships that haven't worked out, you're damaged goods. And then, this sperm, it's almost as if
sperm in the brain.
Yes.
That's what it's like. The sperm. And Danielle even says it. She's the one who said it. She's like, it's the sperm. It goes into the brain. And he said that, I believe, last season or 2 seasons. He said this before.
Oh, he said this before. Okay. This is the first time I've heard it. It's shocking.
Yes. No, he said this before in a prior season about the sperm getting into the brain. And then a woman is just, that's it, ruined.
And again, right, because women were so, or were so enamored by men.
Yeah, you can't bond anymore.
Yeah. And so
you can't bond after, 5 people's sperm enters your brain.
And then what I just kept thinking was, well, what if you used a condom with all of these people? There would be no sperm inside of you, right?
Yeah.
So
true.
You're making a lot of big, you're what about that person? But this is so stupid.
Fucking ridiculous.
And so ridiculous. But I hate him shaming women for having sex, shaming women for being sexual, but also saying to women, you are broken. There is something wrong with you.
But he can bang as many hot Brazilian women as he wants to, and there's just no consequences. And what about the sperm you're putting into their brain? And then, you break up. Like, then what? Does that, like, do you have no part of that? You have no responsibility for that? Or?
Well, the other thing, too, is what about gay men? Does it affect men?
Well, he's not. No, this is only women. This is only women are capable of being, corrupted by sperm. Only they can get sperm on the brain and just fucking lose their mind. That's the thing. Men, they really do think that they are so fucking almighty and all powerful that their sperm is going to fucking break us down.
No, I think about this all the time of how many, because I deal with so many men all the time. And it's like, I love how they feel like they need to, like blow smoke up your ass. Like, oh, you're such a great interviewer. Your podcast, blah, blah, blah. I saw your TED Talk. You're so great. It's like, I'm not a man. I don't need to be fluffed all the time. I don't need you to praise me. I don't need that. But I think that's, we don't need all of that crapola. We really don't. We're so much stronger. So much stronger.
Well,
mentally.
Some of us, not Danielle Merrifield could use a little.
Well, maybe Danielle and Lorena will team up and get rid of Garrick. That would be great.
That would be nice.
Now, the other thing I noticed, so they then go into this whole story about Lorena. And then they go, well, 5 months after chatting with her, we met her in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And we were there for 5 days, baptized her. And then on the 5th day, Garrick proposes. Wow. Doesn't that sounds exactly like Natalia. That's exactly what happened. I think they went to Mexico with Natalia.
And probably Roberta too.
And, Danielle was there and their kids. And, then they go through this rigmarole. They baptize her. And then on the last night, he's like, okay, it's time for me to propose. Every time.
Because then he can have sex with her. Because this came up last season.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He basically says, as soon as he gets some premonition from God, and then he proposes, and then that gives him the permission to then have sex. Then it's okay to have sex. I mean, Garrick has got this whole thing figured out in his head, and he's always fast tracking everything.
Yeah.
He's got to fast track it to get to the point where it's going to be okay with God that he has sex with them. He's so gross. He's a sexual predator. He really is. And these poor Brazilian women. And the fact that he has this loyal wife who's, given him 3 children, and he just stands by and just imposes this on her. It's really disturbing.
It is. Well, and it's that whole bait and switch thing. You marry someone and you're in a monogamous relationship, and they just, one day spring this on you. I think this is how all these Danny's feeling, not Billie Jean, but I think this is how Danny's feeling. It's unreal. It's just unreal. And I don't, to leave your husband with, you have children. I mean, that's not an easy choice. So now you're putting this person in this horrible choice or decision, like stay with you and keep the family together, but indulge this desire of yours, or I leave you. And
right. Well, and never forget, Danielle divorced Garrick. So
yes.
C1 visas, and she lied in court about the whole thing.
Yeah. And how does God? How does that work with God?
Yeah, lying under oath.
So is God okay with that, or God told Garrick that he's okay with he or she, whoever God is okay with it because he's doing it for this greater good.
Because God told him to. So God can't be mad about perjury. I mean,
yes. God.
Well, okay. So now also these poor Lorena, she is, she's like, I'm going to America. What do people think of when they think of America? They think of being in LA,
New York,
movie stars in New York, Miami Beach, these exciting places. And as they leave Denver and they start driving out, because I think that it's at least a couple hours from Denver, and she's like, where are the houses?
Yeah.
Where are the bars, the beaches? And this is where the title of the episode comes from. You're no longer in Brazil, Dorothy. This is Buena Vista. And it's like, this is hell. This is hell for her.
Yeah, I think that I get the sense that she's kind of jumping into this, maybe part of it was like, wanting to get to the US or whatever it is. But I felt like there was a level of, she likes Garrick. She wants to be part of this. But her reaction to the, just being out in the country, I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
No.
Like, I think she's going to get stir crazy really quickly. And we saw this on 90 Day Fiancé. All these, again, thinking that
Natalie out in the Washington sticks with
what is that? Weed or Weem or whatever.
Not I don't know. It starts with a W.
I think it was like 4 letters. Sorry, we're not. I haven't watched 90 Day in a long time, so I'm not up on all of that stuff. But that's every time.
That's a lot of them. It's a big culture shock. Because usually the people who come from a foreign country, they come from a big city, like if she's in Brazil, she could be in Rio or Sao Paulo or like, is Sao Paulo in Brazil or is that somewhere else? I don't know. Anyway, they seem to always wasn't Natalia in a big city? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, they all come from these big cities and then they bring them over here to these small towns and they're just like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. They do show us scenes I didn't write this down, but we see scenes for the rest of the season and it looks good. I mean, the Davises, there's a woman in there that's they're trying to break this. Some new woman's coming in and trying to break up the family. I mean, she seems like she's angling.
She wants Nick. Yeah. She told me
just Nick.
She said that the first time we had sex, so, we already know that's all good.
The Davises get right to it. They're not waiting for proposals or anything.
No. She said the first time we had sex, I knew I would never have sex with anyone else for the rest of my life. And she says she loves the way Nick smells. She loves how his body is so creamy. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah,
there's going to be some sexual competition. And I think Jenny, I know, is pregnant. I don't think she's had the baby yet, but she's pregnant with another girl. And so I don't know if she was pregnant during the filming of this and how that,
I didn't notice. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't look, I don't know. I don't know what the status of that is. So I don't know, but that could be part of the storyline. This Nick, God, how does he?
Women are just intrigued by him and all of this. And what's crazy about it is, I believe Jen and April will fight to the death with this woman to keep Nick.
Oh, they worship him. They're not going to let some bitch come in and take Nick away. Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
I don't know what Nick does, but it's something.
He must be good in bed. That's all I can think of. But this woman seems to be, I can't remember her name, but she seems to be the opposite of Danielle. Where Danielle was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I want Nick. I am going after him. Sorry, ladies.
Yes.
And then this other family, I didn't even write down their name, but it's, there's two wives and
that's right. Yeah.
One of them had some kind of a bombshell.
Well, I think there's two wives and they must be on the show because they're maybe obviously seeking another wife. But I think that we find out that one of the wives that is already in the relationship maybe is sleeping with someone else, like another man.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, well, I think
you said
something about wanting to bring someone else into the family. But yeah, it's probably not what you expect. It's not another woman. It's another man, maybe. God, I love this show.
I mean,
I've missed this show.
When I started this, I'm like, oh God, are we going to be able to talk about this? I mean, this show, and then, oh boy, Reese just...
We started out with a bang.
I don't know where they find these people, but they do. I don't know.
Well, and the Merrifields and the Davises, they're content for days. I mean, we could just have those two families and have the full hours worth of stuff. So it's going to be a good season. It's going to be fun.
It is. It is. So we're going to be covering Seeking Sister Wife this season along with Sister Wives. So for right now, this is going to be our Thursday show unless we're still trying to figure out some other things. But so for right now, this is going to be our Thursday show. And if you are a fan of Sister Wives and you don't follow us regularly, then, we have a Patreon where we have a weekly bonus. And then for the higher tier, you get a monthly true crime and an Ask Us Anything. And then this right now, we're currently doing a book club of Christine Brown Woolley's new book. And so if you are interested in that book, interested in our thoughts on it, go check it out. It's exclusively on Patreon on the $8 level. There are other ways to support us. If you enjoy us, please give us a 5-star rating and review. That always helps us so much. So if you haven't already, please, would love it if you could. Please follow us on social media, follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube. And I think that's it. Right?
Yeah. And we're covering Sister Wives season 20 starting in a few days. So we have tons of Sister Wives coverage on our catalog, free catalog.
Yes.
As well. We have, we've been doing a recap from season 1 to, we just finished season 9. And then we have, when did we start? Was it season 16 or
17?
Somewhere around there.
It was 17 because that was when Christine left Cody.
Yeah.
And it was getting good.
I feel like it might have been 16 though. Anyway, we started 3 years ago. So the last 3 years of Sister Wives are on there as well.
Yeah.
So lots of content.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hi, I'm Pace Case.
And I'm Bachelor Clues.
We host Game of Roses, the world's best reality TV podcast. We're covering every show in reality TV at the highest level possible. We analyze The Bachelor, Love is Blind, Perfect Match, Vanderpump, and anything else you find yourself watching with wine and popcorn.
We break down errors, highlight plays, MVPs, and all the competitive elements that make reality TV a sport. And we interview superstar players like Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow and Big Brother champion Taylor Hale.
If you want to know so much about reality TV, you can turn any casual conversation into a PhD level dissertation. You definitely want to check out Game of Roses.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.